I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you dig up old forums, you know, back in the day before the social media eras, you had a bunch of online forums where fans were chatting about and sharing opinions. There's a couple of Burnley old forums where people were pretty sad at the fact that, you know, how impressive you were that season. But then, of course, you had to go back to Villa. And then comes the Villa breakthrough. And tell us about that goal. Because that goal, Gary, I mean, for anyone who, you know, grew up playing in the Villa Academy, in the reserves, at some point, there will be this aspiration to want to do well in a derby match against Birmingham. But you didn't just do well. You scored an astonishing bicycle kick goal. And that must have felt $1 million.
Yeah, it was an incredible feeling. Absolutely incredible feeling. You know, all my family there watching, playing in such a pressured game. I felt the pressure. The morning of that game, you know, I felt the pressure as a young boy going into that fixture, and you know that the fans are so passionate. They both want to win. They dislike each other, and there's that real derby rivalry. So I felt that, and to go into that game and it play out the way that it did, and almost announce myself a little bit in that moment. It was a moment in the Premier League where, you know, I've scored my first goal, and it was a great goal to score. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. Yeah. Check on the YouTube.
I've definitely watched it on repeat.
My kids are bored of watching it. Yeah.
I mean, put it this way, right? Most players dream of scoring a goal in the Premier League, right? Regardless of how it happens. Even if it's a tap-in, it's still a momentous occasion because you've got your first goal. But to do it the way you did it, I mean, that's just stuff of dreams, really, for anyone out there. So I'd highly encourage everybody to go on YouTube. People
used to say, what made you do that? What made you think to do that? And it was just an instinct in that moment. I mean, sitting here now at 39, if I did that, I'd probably pull my back out. But yeah, it was just an instinct. Yeah. And yeah, the way that it played out and the kind of momentum that gave me after that was great.
But to most fans, though, Gary, what that moment represented was a recognition of the audacity in you, that you had that courage, that sort of bravery. You were a young boy, relatively unproven at that point in time, but you had that courage and that bravery to want to, you know, make that decision in that moment and do what you did, which pretty much, let's be real, sent shockwaves around the Premier League and amongst fans globally at that point. But then comes the Bolton move. And before I get into the Bolton move, Malaysia has a very special relationship with Bolton purely because of the nostalgia of the Sam Allardyce era. There's a lot of J.J. Okocha fans here. There's a lot of Kevin Nolan fans here, Jaskalainen fans here. These are some iconic names. But we've got an assistant producer out there who passed me this card. And I want to show it to you. And he's kept it for years now. It's a match attack Gary Cahill card.
Oh, wow.
I believe that's from the 2009, 2010
season. Do you know what's
season.
funny about this? I literally have just left the hotel, and there was a fan outside the hotel, and he had the exact same card.
The same one?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah. That rolled back the years.
I'm pretty sure the guy will come in and get an autograph from you right after we're done recording this. But tell us about that Bolton team. When I think about you at Bolton, I think about the partnership with Zat Knight. What was that partnership like?
Well, going back before that, this is the thing with football as well. There's bumps, there's ups and downs in the road in football. I mean, if you go back to, I know I've just spoken about it, but Steve Hotchell taking that decision when I went on loan to Burnley was a big decision from him, and a moment that, you know, I'm very grateful for because it gave me that, you know, that platform to progress. But then come the Bolton, the move to Bolton was a period of time when I was out of the Aston Villa team at the moment. You know, they had Melberg and Larson at the time that was playing in front of me, which as a young boy, they were experienced, there was international players. But I look back now and I think I was very impatient. But yeah, I feel like that's why I got success as well, because I felt so driven that I wanted to play. You know, I didn't just want to be at a club and be on the bench, and you know, I wanted to play all the time, and I had that feeling from playing regularly at Burnley, albeit in the Championship, then playing a few games, you know, for Aston Villa, and I was out of the team a little bit. So I remember knocking on the door a few times to say, like, what's going on? You know, I need to play, because I was really conscious of keeping the momentum going. So that's how the move came about. I think a bit of frustration from my part, and basically the club saying, right, okay, we've had an offer in, you can go if you want, so I went. So I turn up at, with Gary Megson at Bolton, like you just reeled off the names there, some experienced players, Jaska Leinen, Kevin Nolan, Kevin Davis, Alex Juve. You know, there was some experienced players in there. And again, it gave me that opportunity to play week in, week out, learn my trade, play against the best players, obviously in the Premier League, and really develop. So it was a great 4 years that I had there.